What's up, guys? Back again for another edition of Arsenal Academy with my partner in crime, Rory.
Hey, Q.
Way over there with the
social distance.
Social distance. There you go. Look, we are back again for another Wonder Women series edition with two amazing Wonder Women, Tatiana Whitlock, Judy Wells, back again for another edition. So, got a lot of questions from you guys. We did a show with them. You guys loved it. We talked about concealed carry. Wanted to have them back on again. Rory actually came up with this topic. So, home defense.
Yeah. The other day I was talking with a single mother, and she said, hey, what should I be doing at home to protect me and my two children? And so we kind of got down the rabbit hole of a bunch of different things, and I thought it would be best if we just brought the experts back to talk about it.
Definitely.
So,
all right. So to that point, let's introduce the experts. So first up, Judy. We got Judy Wells. She is, well, you know what, Judy? Tell them about yourself. Tell them what they won, Judy.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Judy Wells, and I am the facilitator of the San Diego chapter of A Girl and a Gun. And
Great
I
organization.
Firearms late in life and decided to dive in head first and been there ever since. I'm also a co-host on Responsibly Armed Radio, which is a live syndicated radio show with Tatiana Whitlock.
All right. And Tatiana, you are way over in, where are you today? You're in Maine? You're all over the world.
I'm in Maine.
She is in Maine. So tell us about yourself and what you do, your background.
I came to firearms 8.5 years ago and did the continental shelf deep end dive into all things immersive firearms learning. So I came to this, just like Rory said, as a single mother, learning solutions that could be applied to my household and my family. Over this time span, I'm now one of the members of the Walther Defense Division team. I'm the national training director for the country's largest and fastest growing women's organization, A Girl and a Gun. I'm also director of training here at my home range in Maine at Howell's Indoor Range and Gun Shop. And as well, on top of all of that stuff, I teach my own curriculum at ranges across the country.
Guys, I know we were talking offline, Tatiana, so your number one tip for you and Judy, you kind of were saying the biggest thing is how to harden your home. So kind of go into that. What's hardening your home? What are some quick ways that don't cost thousands of dollars that people can do, ladies especially, to protect themselves at home?
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to talk about some really quick tips for safety in your home, doors, windows, and perimeter safety, given that the DOJ and the FBI say that between 30 and 40% of home invasions happen with doors and windows unlocked. So let's go right to doors. For about $5, you can reinforce your door strike plate with longer screws. So you want to get maybe 3-inch long screws instead of using the hardware the strike plate comes with. Also, there's another product called Door Armor that wraps a steel casing.
I love Door Armor. Love it. I have it on every entry. Yep.
Love
it.
So
love
it prevents your door frame from being kicked in. 30 minutes, a screwdriver and a drill. Good to go.
Yep.
Another really good thing that I use in my bedrooms and my doors, exterior doors, is a steel brace, which anchors from the doorknob to the floor. So it prevents someone, if they breach the door lock, they can't push the door in.
Now, personal story for that one, Judy. I'll throw the picture up there for you guys, but that thing is awesome. I literally got through college. I didn't live in the best neighborhood in college, and for $20, you can throw that on your door, and I dare somebody to try to kick your door down, right, Judy? I mean, that thing is amazing,
right.
Like a little piece of steel, but it can stop a lot.
And home invasions, especially out here at Las Vegas, where we're at, the most common way they get in for a home invasion is they kick in the door.
Yep. So that Door Armor, yeah.
You can also take the steel brace with you traveling because it collapses. We have links to all these products on our website.
Yeah,
Responsibly Armed Radio. So that's a really good one
for your hotel rooms. Forget that the little latch in the hotel. You put that in your hotel room door. Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome. So Tatiana, all right, now we're gonna get to the fun stuff, right? So what's the right weapon for you to have in your home? Now, I want you to solve something for me, a battle that I have. I try to tell people all the time, especially for women, handguns and rifles. People look at me like I'm crazy. I know they do. Same thing with Rory. I recommend to women all the time to have a rifle in the home for home defense. Now, am I crazy? What do you think about that?
No, I don't think you're crazy at all. A firearm, pistol, rifle, shotgun, is only as safe or as accurate as the user. So it doesn't matter what tool, you have to be able to be proficient and train with it and learn how to use it in structures, not just at the range, because we are talking about in your home. So what's the right firearm for you, it's going to be the firearm you commit to running and training the most. So there is no one platform that's easier than the other. They all have a lot of demands on them. And what they mean from you is if you have to grab that gun quickly when you're in your tactical jammies in the middle of the night, or as Judy said, perhaps mid-afternoon, you get what you get.
I love it.
So, if you're carrying concealed, do you wear your gun at home? Because you never know when the toaster oven will turn into a Domesticon, right? So you've got to be able to make sure that you are prepared with the tools that you need. Now, a firearm stored for safety, for defensive purposes, here's the caveat, folks. If it's a handgun, it's loaded hot and it's holstered in that safe. Do not go and grabbing for that gun in a drawer and find your fingers holding on to pulling that gun back to you and you ND into the drawer, the safe, whatever that case may be.
Yikes.
So please make sure you holster up those loaded handguns. Same thing with rifles. Do you store the magazine outside the gun? Do you store the magazine in with a round chambered, magazine in, no round chambered? You got to make those decisions in advance. And the same thing for shotgun. I think the most misunderstood firearm we have in the home defense world that Hollywood has done a really disservice
Oh
to
my God, don't
is
even
the
start.
shotgun.
Oh yeah.
Don't even
Oh my
start.
goodness. There's a soapbox there. We'll save that for another show.
That's a whole episode.
I'll touch on that for a second,
one.
though. But, because I personally prefer a shotgun in the house. And I load mine up with first round buckshot, and then the second round, first round's birdshot, and then the second round's actually a slug. So if the first round doesn't actually,
Now,
wound you a little bit to make you understand that I'm serious, then I got
Rory's
the slug
point,
knock you out. But
right here we got, so this is the Molot Vepr. Me and Rory both have, this is the short barrel version shotgun. We both have these. Love Molot, banned in 2017. Amazing Russian AK platform shotgun. This is what we carry. This is what we have. So we love the shotguns. But I mean, Tatiana, what do you? I mean, I'll get into your personal, but what do you carry at home? What's your home defense?
What's your go-to?
What's your go-to in the middle of the night? Your
I have all
tactical
three.
jammies. Huh?
I have all three.
See?
Truly. I mean, I like all of them. So my house looks, it's a party at my house.
There you go.
No, but I have.
Hey, I got Glocks in the refrigerator.
reality-
I got Glocks in the refrigerator.
And when it comes to handguns, I recommend a full-size handgun. I also recommend
Okay.
lights on all of your weapon systems that you're going to be using.
So if we
in
come
the
back
home.
here,
You got to have a light source in addition to the ambient light you set up inside your house already. And this isn't a search and assess tool. You're not searching your house with the light on the gun. You have one in your hand too. However, you really need to make sure you have positive identification before you even make contact with that trigger.
And to her
Holsters
point,
are huge.
so Rory's got a full size, so that's the Rex
Yeah.
brand, the Rex 01S. We both have those at home.
Yeah,
we got a light on the
typically-
front of there.
Exactly, and typically, I tell people to get a light for your home defense handgun because number one, a lot of these have where it'll actually strobe and actually blind somebody. They're that bright, or you can just go on the full light. If you're clearing out the house, say you don't keep a house with ambient light a whole lot, then you can kind of clear the house out. But the biggest advantage to me, and Tatiana can maybe explain what she thinks the biggest advantage is as well. But with that light, is you could actually blind somebody with that to the point where they can't see you, and then you're at the advantage.
Now, Judy,
There's lots of strategies for light. Lots and lots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Again, research. Again, that's the thing. I'm glad you just said that, Tatiana. I want to get to you in a second, Judy. I want to ask you something, but what you just said is everything. There are tons of options for every single thing we're talking about. This is just a quick hit. This is just to kind of get your taste buds wet. You got to do your research, guys. You got to see what's out there. Don't take for granted what somebody tells you at the range because this guy has on all the Rambo clothes and you think he knows what he's talking about. Do your own research. Find what works for you. But Judy, I wanted to ask you because you said that you are a new shooter, kind of new to this whole thing. What do you have at home? What's your go-to for self-defense? What have you found that you are comfortable with, that you like?
Well, in my shooting journey, it's been about 5 or 6 years now. I've moved through all the platforms from training with different people, and I agree with Tatiana. I have all three things. I have all platforms ready to go. I know how they're staged. My pistol is holstered, so I don't grab it accidentally. But I agree that different situations call for different tools.
Yeah.
And different house layouts call for different tools as well. I mean, the length of your hallway, all of that that all matters when you're talking about what you choose as your home defense gun and what you train with the most.
Now, I totally hear that on that. You know what? You actually made me think while you were saying that. So, shameless plug, because I love it. Honestly, it's my favorite gun next to my AKs. That, so right down there by Rory. Rory, show the guys that. So this is the Vepr 1280, right? The Molot Vepr 1280, got the left side folding stock there. Look at the muzzle on that. Show them the muzzle on it. That thing is a beast. You're talking like literally zero rise. The recoil on that is next to nothing. I have actually seen a 5 foot next to nothing woman at the range just lay down rounds with this thing, and it's a 12 gauge shotgun because of that muzzle. So I want you viewers out there, check it out. Molot Vepr 12-80. Me and Rory both have it. Honestly, it's my favorite gun. So
yeah, and it's kind of just circle back to it. I totally agree with what they're saying. Find what works for you, what's comfortable, because one gun that may be comfortable for Q or somebody else is not going to be comfortable for the next person.
Yeah.
And being proficient with that firearm is definitely going to it's going to set you ahead versus something that you don't use very often, something you're not very familiar with, which kind of also leads me into our next question I kind of have is, staging your gear.
Storage.
Do you keep the gun by your nightstand? Do you keep the gun in a safe? Do you keep the gun on your nightstand, but do you keep the mag in your, in the drawer next to it? I'd be interested to know what you guys think, about what they should be doing or what they should be thinking about for the viewers out there.
Yeah, because I know, Tatiana, you had mentioned earlier, we were talking and you were saying, like, you got all of these new shooters and they run out and they buy this great gun and it's so badass and they love it.
But what are
you doing with it? How are you keeping it safe? How are you protecting it? So what are some tips and tricks like for storage? What do you kind of recommend, for storage options?
If you are brand new to this, and you've got a handgun, which is probably the most unruly thing to have in a house. It's very easy to muzzle people, very easy to be conversational with your hands. And you're storing it for home defense. You have to choose, do you store mag out, mag in, round in? How loaded up is this thing? And again, I'll reiterate, the holster is a must. Gun must be holstered if it's loaded hot. It comes down to what is your level of comfort? What is your level of training and proficiency? If the gun makes you feel unsafe in its condition of readiness, it's not serving you well. So if you're not at the place yet where you are carrying the optimal solution, which is access the firearm, unholster the firearm is all ready to go, then back it out one piece at a time. Put the magazine in, but just know that you're setting yourself to do more work. So you'll have to breach, meaning gain access to the firearm through the storage device. You'll have to achieve a grip on the gun itself. You'll have to strip the holster off. And if you're not carrying with a round in the chamber, you now have to rack it to chamber a round. That's an auditory clue too. It is not a dissuasive sound, right? That tells everybody it's like a dinner bell, I'm over here.
Right.
So consider that, your level of comfort also may require more of you in the moment to manipulate and function the gun. So if that's something that makes you uncomfortable having the gun fully loaded, there's an easy solution to that, and it is called additional training. And it is a cheap investment in comparison.
Now, you just said something. I don't want to keep you guys here for an hour, even though I could talk to you 4 hours. You just said something. I'm going to go to the camera here. I'm going to focus the camera here, and I can bet you that Tatiana is going to be shaking her head in agreement all the way in Maine. Training, freaking training, guys. Even if it's at home, just dry firing on your couch. It's about training. Firearm skills is a perishable skill, right? You have to keep it up. You can't just go, I went with my buddy to the range and I don't go for 6 months. Like, no, you got to train. You got to be used to it. You can't be scared to react, And on that note, training. So, Tatiana, tell us where people can go to get that training, especially women can go to get some of that great training that you are giving out.
Certainly. We have a Girl and a Gun chapters all over the country, multiple chapters in states, pretty much coast to coast, border to border. So go to agirlandagun.org and see what chapters are closest to you. If there isn't one, join the national chapter, which gives you access to everyone, everywhere, and all of our digital training assets. And in addition to that, if you'd like to come train with me, you have options to work in private lessons online, do a lot of family consults for family home defense strategies, working with the entire household to develop a plan, all family members involved. And then you can come to a live fire course, and my complete schedule of events can be found on my website, TatianaWhitlock.com.
All right. So, and the biggest thing too, where do you go to get the gear, right? K-var.com. That's me and Rory's home. It should be your home too. Anything AK related, but honestly, anything gun related. So that's where we get all these great sights from, the slings, the lights, the lasers, everything that we talked about here, k-var.com. Check it out.
All right. And with that said, Judy, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, I'd like all of your listeners to go to Responsibly Armed Radio to listen to our live radio broadcast, as well as check out our blog and our website. Also, any women across the country who are interested in training, go to agirlandagun.org, and you can see where the chapters are that are closest to you. If there's not one close to you, you can join our national chapter. We have incredible instructors and facilitators and across the country.
Really do. I've run into a number of your members across my travels and ranges. You guys do great work.
So with that said, we're not going to keep these ladies forever. So if you guys have questions for us, about weapons, about carrying those weapons, about anything in the home that we could help answer, we're happy to answer, and we can direct them to Tatiana and Judy as well. And you can send us those questions at questions@arsenalinc.com.
We don't know everything, but we know people that do.
We
know everything.
We know people.
So we love you guys. We'll see you next time.